Well, welcome to the Rusty Garage and Homestead. My name is Mike. In today's video, in a recent video, we breathed life back into that old Screaming Jimmy, the old two-stroke Detroit that we got. And I had y'all leave some comments on guessing what that engine was for. And well, if you guessed sawmill, you'd be correct. Or you probably looked at the thumbnail, because that's probably what's going to be in the thumbnail of this video. So today, I'm going to show you around the new sawmill, the old sawmills, and just kind of give you my thoughts on what direction we're going to go with it all. So I know some of y'all have seen this old sawmill, or these sawmills. There's actually two of them here in some videos while we was doing things out and about. But last year when we was in Missouri deer hunting, I picked up these mills. Got an old Frick setworks right here. That's a different mill. And most of the old Frick stuff is in a million pieces scattered through here. And this other mill, I can't really pronounce the name of it, but I'll show you what it is. That's it. Farquhar. I don't know. If any of y'all know anything about that brand, who made it, you know, that kind of stuff, when they were in business, let me know. But it does have the carriage, and I mean, everything's kind of, all the timber needs replaced. The old husk, all that timber, a lot of it's rotten, you guys can see. But there's still good parts to use on a lot of this stuff. Whenever I brought these back home, I don't know, I looked, it's hard to find a lot of the parts and pieces for some of this stuff. So I don't know, I kept looking for another mill. So we did end up buying another sawmill. Came with the engine, some other things. Let me show you that. But the old Frick mill was Richard's. Richard was the dad or grandpa of the family that we hunt with up north. Really cool old guy. I miss him. He ran that mill up there for a lot of years, and he made a lot of cool little trinkets and stuff that kind of miss seeing. But when he built that mill, I was told he took a couple different mills and put them together. Had a 318 Pontiac with a transmission behind it, running a 2-ton rear end, driving the flywheel on that old mill. But don't have the flywheel for that mill. It was bigger than that one that's on that husk. But there's quite a few parts that are going to be usable for if we want to expand or do different things in the future. Like all this old cast iron rail, that was all Richard stuff. And all this came out of a coal mine out of Brookfield, Missouri. So kind of cool to have all that stuff here. I'm sure at some point I'll make use of it doing something. But let me go ahead and show you all the new mill and kind of what came with it. You guys have already seen the engine, the fuel tank. We got that. We got a few other things. This is one of the things. This is a sawdust blower. Runs off that shaft. Actually, there's a jack shaft on the sawmill itself, but that runs too. So that came with it, and this came with it. This is a Corley Edger. I want to say it's you could see, yeah, Corley. I believe that's just that's a serial number. Model size number 21, and then that's the serial number of it. But it needs some love. Millman I bought this whole mill setup from said he used the edger just a little bit, but ended up edging everything on the mill itself because it was quicker. But this mill does also run off the sawmill. Okay, so before I reveal the new mill to y'all, or new to us mill, it's not new, it's still pretty old. Go ahead and leave a comment on what brand of mill you think I was able to come up with. And I'm hoping there's some of you sawyers out there that'll know a little more information about this mill than I know. Let me show it to you. This is it. This is a Meadows. I was told it's a Meadows sawmill. It's portable. It's about 9 foot wide, a little over 9 foot wide. This was a little bit of a chore to get home because I had to make 2 trips, and it was 2 hours one way. So the first trip I took the gooseneck down, loaded up the engine, fuel tank, sawdust blower, edger, and came home. Second trip went down, picked up the mill, and yeah, it took a little more than 2 hours. It was closer to 3 hours to get this thing home because of the route we needed to take to stay off the interstates, and I definitely didn't want to drag this thing through Tulsa with all their construction and everything they got going on. That tube there that's crinkled, that actually goes to the sawdust blower. But I've went through and I've pretty much greased everything that I could have on this thing. The bits actually look in decent shape. I need to take a wire wheel, I guess, and try to get a lot of that surface rust off of there. I got to build some blade guides for it. Didn't come with any of those. Now this mill, the old man actually ran it for production. He's been milling lumber here in Oklahoma for the last 38 years. He's done it long enough his kids and grandkids are also taking part in the family business milling. But they quit circle sawing and they started, he had a big Timber King 2000, I think is what it was. And they're fixing to add another mill that was more automated. But this thing had sat in the pasture. He said this mill has not ran or milled any lumber in the last 8 years. When I got it home, and I did check it whenever we were out there, the setworks, it would advance forward, but it wouldn't go in reverse. It was froze up. So when I got home, I put a bunch of slickum all over everything I could, but I didn't let it quite sit long enough, and I forced it, and I ended up breaking something that we're going to have to repair or see if we can find a new one. I don't know. I don't even know who to ask. I don't know if Meadows is still in business, if they could make one, but I need a reverse drum for the setworks. It works, but well, let me show you. I removed a big chunk of it trying to turn that thing around, and doing so, I broke this piece out of it. You can see that piece has actually been broke for a while. That was the fresh break. It's gotten rained on quite a bit, so it's not shiny like it was, but that was shiny. That was dirty when it broke off. So that told me that's been broke. And after looking at it, it's been repaired before. I'll show you that. You can see I popped some of this off, but that's brass, where somebody's brazed that before. So I need to clean this up, pull this together. I can still make it work because I can roll this around that dead spot, but it's cracked quite a ways down to about here. So I need to drill a hole in here, preheat this, and start brazing that back together and braze this piece back in, and hopefully that'll get us by for a little bit. But it was brazed down through here and then over to here and down. So it's been repaired before. So I've got some brazing rod. I've also got some high nickel rod, which is what you need when you're welding cast iron. I do not like welding cast iron. I've done it before. It's just a pain. It's very temperamental. You got to heat it up, preheat it, weld it, and then slow cool it for you to have the most success out of it. And if I weld it with a high nickel rod, it's got to be clean. I'm going to have to get all that old brazing stuff out of there. But I think I'm going to try to braze it first and see how that holds for us. But it does work. Let me get this stuck up on there, and it'll pick up and go. Maybe. Might take two hands. Okay, it's rotating out now. But that's pretty much the only repair I know that we need to make. Besides making some blade guides. I've already greased everything, and this does turn over pretty easy. So I don't know if I need to replace the belts down in here on the drive works or not, but the engine, it'll hook to here. It's got an extra pulley or two because this, the edger, he said normally ran right here, and it would run off of this sheave right here. And then this little jack shaft down here at the bottom goes all the way through to the other side and comes out right here. And that's actually what drives the sawdust blower on this side. But this carriage was all the way up here. I hand spun it, moved it, offset that thing all the way to the back. So my next step is getting this thing picked back up. I moved it up here, it's tiny. I need to take it back to the shop, get it out of the wind so I can get all this brazed up. Once that's done, we can park it up here and get it level and get everything hooked up to it and start milling some lumber. But eventually it's going to move where the trailer house is as soon as we can get that thing cleaned out and get it gave away or burnt down or whatever we got to do with it. But that's where this thing's going to live. Now he did tell me there was frame extensions that were wooden that you could bolt on here, and they ended up changing it and making it permanent and making a metal. So all that's welded together, but I got to get this thing leveled up. And this thing is a 54-inch blade. He gave me two other blades. Two of them are 9/32, and one of them was 5/16. One of them was wider than the others, but a box full of different bits and tools, electric sharpener to sharpen the bits. I think he said it was a Joe's. I think. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me, but I think he said it was a Joe's electric sharpener. He gave me that with it. So I think we have most things we need now that we have a running engine for sure. get it set up here, get everything hooked up, and hopefully we can start milling some lumber pretty soon, because I'm tickled to death to start getting to mill some lumber. But everything rolls. I mean, it's sat out in the pasture for a long time, so this still spins. Everything works as it should. He said it shouldn't take a lot of effort to get this thing up and going. He was pretty confident, and I sat and talked to him for quite a while, looked everything over. The engine, he said he had the engine rebuilt 200 or 300 hours ago of what should be on the engine, and he said he did go and start it occasionally because he didn't want it to go to waste just sitting there. But this is it. I was wanting a sawmill. I was real close to pulling the trigger on a LX50 Super from Wood Miser, just a kind of a hobby style bandsaw mill, but I kept wanting a circle saw. Don't ask me why, but I want a circle saw. For what I'm gonna do, I wanna make lumber so I can make things around here, and circle saw is gonna be, to me, more efficient than a bandsaw. If I was doing just a bunch of slab type wood, then bandsaw would probably be the direction to go. But I am tickled to have this thing, really excited about it. But yeah, but I've never, ever sawed a log on a bandsaw mill, on a circle saw, anything like that. So this is gonna be a new learning curve for me, a new experience. So if y'all know of anyone else, any channel, I watched quite a few Sawyer channels, Frickin' Jeep, John, there's several out there that I do watch. Shannon running Mike Coy's old circle saw. I've got an idea of what I need to do, but until I actually do it, it's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be fun. But I'll probably tag John from Frickin' Jeep in here just to see, maybe he's got an idea of where I could possibly find a reverse wheel for this setworks. Now this setworks is similar to the setworks on that Farquit mill, but the issue I'm having, see, that's very similar to the same style on that one. But this is all smaller. It's a whole lot smaller shaft that goes through it. And the Frick one, I would love to be able to use this one, because this was Richard's and everything's no drum. That's an entire cast wheel on both sides. But that shaft is too big. That shaft is too small. That's totally different style. And this in general is just kind of smaller than what's on that Meadows mill. So my best attempt is going to be try to braze this thing. Hopefully that holds. If that doesn't, I will try to weld it, clean all the braze out of it, and see if we can weld it. But you guys did see the knees were pretty much all the way back. I got them to go forward. I can make it go reverse as well. It just, you got to play with it a little bit. He did give me the log scale. He took it off. It mounts back there. That board will have to be replaced, and it comes through here. But everyone, let me know what you think, and let me know if you know anyone that has a Meadows mill, circle mill. I believe this is called one of their portable Meadows. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Edmondson bought Meadows. I was doing some research over there trying to see if Meadows is still in business, and it looks like Edmondson Hydraulic Mills bought Meadows. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get parts from them or if they still even make this kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm not sure exactly how to even take the setworks apart. I mean, obviously, I think knock it loose there, and the shaft, I'm sure you'd have to clean it up, but the shaft should probably slide out, and that setworks pick up out of there. And maybe that's how you do it. Pull the whole setworks out and figure out how to get this bar out of the way, and that drum will just pop right off of there maybe. Again, I don't know, because I'm not a sawyer yet, and I've never been around this stuff, but everything works as it should. I've messed with everything on this thing. Ooh, that's a two-hand jobber. And I did lose a dog. This spring is broke. This had a dog in it. It was painted yellow like that, but I lost it on the trip up here. But this came off one of those other mills and fit right in there. So if you know anyone that might be an expert or has some information for me, please leave their name or their channel name or something down in the comments below so I can try to ask them some questions so we can get this thing up and going sooner than later. I'm just really excited to have it, and I've been wanting to share it with you all. I wanted to get the engine going first, make sure that was going to go. If not, I was going to figure out some way of hooking a PTO shaft from the 100-horse tractor into that flywheel and just drive it that way. But with that, everyone, let me know what you think. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.